Folks, look who we got. Jim, look who we got.
Downtown Danny Brown.
Yeah, Jimmy. Where's he at?
The legend himself, ladies and gentlemen. The man is in the building. We're happy to have him. Danny, talk to the people.
Fellas, thanks for having me. Everybody out there, Live PD Nation, On Patrol Live Nation, and all you people that just don't watch good TV, what's happening?
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Welcome to the show.
What are you watching on Friday and Saturday nights if you're not watching this show?
I mean, seriously.
What?
There's nothing else to watch.
Back of my eyelids. That's about it.
That's all I'm doing, Jimmy, after shift, man. It's like, but I'm a fan too. Mike was on there. I'm a fan too because I love the show. And early on in the show, I got hooked on it, man. Because we watched Cops growing up, and that was my go-to on the nights that I wasn't at the club. And I was watching Cops, man. It's just where we were at, and to be able to be a part of it in 2015, we got to be on Cops, and that's kind of what led us to being on Patrol Live and Live PD.
Is that right?
Yeah. So 2015, that summer, I was stoked, man. I was in like hog heaven at that point because sheriff came and told us that we would be having a Cops TV crew series. This is the first time they were around us that I can remember. He was like, picked a handful of people that we were going to have the cameras around. And of course, it was our cat team guys. Got to be on the show, man. I was gone. I was like, we're going to be on Cops. I was calling all my friends. Everybody was like, yeah, there's no way you're a cop.
Why would they think you're not a cop? Is there some questionable history with Danny Brown we can't talk about? Maybe.
No, we can talk. I tell everybody because I'm kind of proud of it. Not proud of it, but Mom. You met Mom, Mike. You met Mom, and
lovely lady.
She was like, too bad Mike Bryant's married. Yeah. So, you met Mom, and my dad's a wonderful dude too, but they just didn't get along. So Mom raised me and three sisters on her own for most of my, 10 and teenage years. And it was her going 3 jobs at a time. So I'm the only boy in the family, and I was just out chasing girls and getting into trouble all the time. Police was not my friend, but it was all my fault. Nothing felonious. There's nothing felonious.
No.
But it was those times when we had idle hands and we were just trying to find stuff to do, and there's new neighborhoods getting built, same thing they're doing now, and we're camping out in these homes that they're building, and the cops will chase you and find out you're a teenager when they catch you, and they can just whip your butt and send you home,
Yeah. Good old days.
So then, you don't always have a positive outlook on law enforcement at the time. And I grew up in Arkansas where Aiden's at. I grew up in Little Rock, just outside Little Rock. And, as a teenager, you're always blaming the cops. You're like, hey man, why they always mess with me? Why they chasing us? And then, it took a buddy of mine, Rodney. This kid was in ROTC with me. And in 91, he actually got killed for his truck. I don't know if you remember, Jimmy, I don't know how old you are. You look like you're about 25, but.
I'm 44.
Yeah. So when we grew up, and there, the gas stations had, your neighborhood gas stations had pool tables in it, arcade games. Usually you can go in there and get a pizza made, some hot dogs, hamburgers, whatever. And that's what we did. We hung out. So Rodney was there late one night, and the two old boys asked for a ride. Being the good kid that he was, Rodney gave these two guys a ride, and that was the last time we ever saw him. Drug him on the back road, shot him twice in the head, and took his car. And that was my senior year in high school. So talking with the cops at that time was kind of when he said, y'all can keep on this teenage path that you're on, Danny. You guys can try to find something to do positive. That's when I started looking at getting in the military, and that was kind of the quick way to be was going into the military.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I listened to the conversation. I'm guessing maybe your PIO, the candid conversation.
Yeah.
A few months ago that came out, and I watched that again, and I heard you mention your military police. Is that where that's what got your foot in the door to law
Yeah.
enforcement, basically, correct?
Yeah, it did. It took me a lot of years, and there's a lot behind it. But for me, it was that path to where I was still trying to find my way, man. And I actually dropped out of college at one point because I threw my arm out. I was playing baseball, threw my arm out, and I just gave up on it. And then the reason why the military wouldn't take me straight out of high school, I started going to college was because I've only got one kidney. So yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Wait,
was
wait,
lost.
you were born with one kidney, or what happened?
No, no. And this is that path that, it
All right.
takes me a while to tell people about.
Okay, here
So
we
in
go.
1983,
We
I
got
was
time. Take your time.
yeah, I was 11 years old. 1983, we were living in Japan. My dad was in the Air Force and didn't snow there, but like, hey, you want to find something to do. And during the winter time, the grass would die, get real slick. So we're sliding down the hill on cardboard, just like, we'd take cardboard boxes apart and you would sled down the hill as fast as you could. It got pretty fast. So that day, it was after school. We're out there on the airbase, slide down hills, and it hit my side. I flew off the cardboard and landed on a parking curb. And a couple other kids landed on top of me, and my kidney exploded. It blew up. Yeah. So the pressure at that point on the kidney just did like a balloon. It was crazy.
So you had emergency surgery in Okinawa, Japan?
Okinawa, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And so they actually they didn't know what was up because this is '83, man, the medical stuff back then. So they had to take me to a naval hospital on Okinawa and try to figure out what was going on inside because the internal bleeding was so much they couldn't see my organs. So yeah, it's wicked. They opened me up and they found out my kidney was gone and took care of it, sealed everything up. But with the military back in 1991, when I was trying to get in, that was a strict thank you, try again. We don't want you. So it took me a couple years and I got this great Army recruiter that was like, hey, we're going to get you to surgeons. We're going to try to get a medical waiver to get you in. Took about 2 years and I was able to get in. And it was that dude that didn't give up on me that, again, the cop talked me after Rodney got killed and then this Army recruiter that didn't stop. It was pretty cool. And so that led me to being military police, which led me here to Fort Jackson. And then Sheriff Lott had gotten elected 96 for his first term. And I had about 2 years left, 3 years left to go on my contract. So stuck here and got out and got hired on and kept going with it. So
Man, that's a determination story right there.
it was quick, Jimmy. It was kind of a quick story, but man, and then you figure right after that, we get set stateside in '83 when mom and dad got divorced. And then mom had to foot the bill for 4 kids at that point, you know, for a couple extra jobs. My dad still was, he was keeping up on his stuff, but he was in the Air Force still. So he's moving all over the world, sending money home every month. But mom was still trying to feed four of us and take care of us in Arkansas while we were there. It was wild, dude. It was wild.
Wow. Wow. So, okay. I got so many questions. I got so many.
That's why we're here, brother. That's why we're
Yeah.
here.
To go back to Okinawa. Okay. You're on the base. So there's a bunch of American kids around you.
Yeah.
You're in school on the base, obviously. Are you learning Japanese and Japanese culture at all while you're there?
Excellent. And man, we were talking about this about 2 weeks ago. So we were. So on the airbase, the schools, the elementary schools, and I'm sure the junior highs or whatever did it too. But we had culture classes every week in there. Didn't get real good on language. I picked up, the typical hello, good morning, that kind of stuff, asking for stuff. But the culture part of it was really cool because we were going through etiquette classes, Japanese etiquette classes, where we learned how to drink tea, pour tea, how to respond if you're inside having dinner with some of your. Because when we first got there, we were actually living off the base, around Japanese families. So it's really cool to learn about them and how to respect it. And one of the biggest things I learned is you don't walk in nobody's house with your shoes on. And it was, yeah. But we took culture classes every week in school. And I remember them like they were yesterday.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah. Learned a
Yeah, my
lot about
mom.
it. We're there 4 years. I'm sorry, Jimmy, go ahead.
I was gonna say my mom would beat somebody if they wore their shoes in the house, and she's just she ain't from Japan or anything like that.
Oh,
So
no,
I wasn't allowed to wear shoes anywhere in the house.
we didn't either when we were in Arkansas, but now I wear my shoes all through the house and I get yelled at times. We go down to mom's house in Daytona until they come off.
Good. Understood.
When are you coming back?
We may be down in December. We're trying to plan a trip down again in December. So we come down to Orlando all the time. And then mom's, of course, right there in Daytona.
So what do
It
you
makes it a little bit sketchy for what I've been seeing on TV, though.
We'll take you to the China buffet.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Now,
you joke
we always
around.
have a great time down there at the track and everything else, man.
Yeah, he's joking around, but that Han Woo place in Port Orange, that
Yeah.
Korean barbecue buffet where you cook the food in front of you, you cook your own food, place is legit. We should definitely go there. I had it before. I was it. Oh,
Yeah, we're gonna have to do it, man. I'll be down.
yeah,
They
yeah,
just opened up one of those Korean barbecue places here.
yeah.
My wife Donna went and she said it's amazing.
Good stuff. You got season passes to Disney, or what was going on with that?
Well, you know what we did last time, and we figured it out. Orlando has got right next to the airport. There is a Navy exchange, a post exchange there. So even though we are there, so we'll go get a year pass there for the same. And we'll get unlimited passes for a year, and it costs us I think about 200 something a piece for them. But we go as many times throughout the year as we can.
Nice.
So it'll get us in Islands of Adventure and Universal, which is kind of
Yeah.
our thing.
Say we were just looking at SeaWorld to go for one day, and of course, as you get into December, the price like skyrockets because kids are out of school. I'm like, come on, man, just cut us a break.
Right.
We messed up and came down there in it was October when I got back from Afghanistan in 2013. I did not know that everybody in Canada and up north was on their fall break, and everybody came to Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, traffic, crowds, lines for days. Oh,
Everybody was in Disney, and I wasn't expecting it. I really wasn't expecting it. Connor was he was 8 years old, so like, yeah, we're going to Disney. And we get there and it was elbow to elbow all through the park, through the
You
entire
are a
park.
brave man for going to Disney. I'm sorry. I know there's Disney fans everywhere. I can't stand Disney. I don't want to see the ears in my face. I don't want to see the balloons everywhere. Everybody looks the same, like Mickey Mouse. I'm like, just get on the ride. Let's go.
I used to love going in there, man, but that one day did it for me. It really did. Cause, I am literally about 5, 6, maybe a full week back from Afghanistan. And, bro, and I'm dealing with the crowd and, we're walking through. I don't know. It took us 45 minutes waiting on the tram to get on to the front of the park, like the monorail. We're 45-minute wait on that. They brought buses down to take people up from where the monorail was up to the gate. And I should have known.
yeah.
And, but it's still a cool adventure to go up there. It's just, man, we go to Universal now because
Much
that's the
better.
big kid Disney for us,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. You can't go wrong. I haven't been to the water park yet. And I'm very excited. Very excited
I never
for
been.
this new
Are
thing.
you guys going soon? And not during the winter, right?
Is there really
Why not?
winter?
I mean, I was gonna
There's
say
no winter.
it's hot. It's
Yeah.
hot.
It's just always hot down there. But it's cool at the same time. That makes sense.
It is. My son's girlfriend's brother works for Universal, so maybe.
Heck yeah. It's always good to have have connections.
Last time I went was because of him. So thank you. How long were you in Afghanistan?
So that last time was a year. Got home October. No, we got home September of 2013, and then we came down a couple weeks later to Florida.
And you're
So
doing reserves now?
Doing reserves out, and I've actually been overseas more with the reserves than I ever did on active duty. 'Cause, dude, I got out of one unit in 2010. So I went to Afghanistan in 2010. 2011, I jumped into this new unit, military police unit out of Nashville, Tennessee. And about 2 months after I get in that unit, they're like, "Hey, we're training up. We're heading out uh, in 2012 to Afghanistan." I was like, "Oh, killing me, man, killing me." Felt like I just got back, and I thought moving units I'd be safe, but I get over there to the other unit, and totally cool group of people. But as soon as I get there, they're like, "Hey, we're training up. We're leaving in like 8 months." I was like, "All right."
good Lord. Good Lord.
So how does that work with being an officer also? Because wouldn't they like deploy you to do certain things like during the hurricanes? I saw you were in your patrol car, but I mean, can't they say, hey, you're going to go with the military and go do that?
Yeah, what's cool about the reserves? So when you got the reserves and the National Guard, so the National Guard, like say if it's Florida National Guard, those guys are in. They have a federal obligation as well, but they also have the state obligation by the governor for say Florida or South Carolina. So our South Carolina National Guard guys can get called up for the hurricanes, for any of that natural disaster stuff in and around, the state. Um, for the reservists to get called up for that, it takes the president calling them up. But we're not able to be, I guess, directed by the governors of the states. National Guard can, but Army Reservists, Air Force Reserve, they're all basically national. If we get called up, it's for going overseas or something like that. But you get your National Guard guys and gals out there that bust their ass every day, and they'll be at work like we are, and then they may have to leave to be working in the same state that they're a cop or EMS or firefighter, and they have to go down to Myrtle Beach or somewhere to work hurricane detail, or up to Asheville, up to Greenville and all that to work the hurricanes. But for us, it takes something pretty major for the reservists to get called up. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
I was
But
curious
those
how
guys
that
that
worked.
yeah, they're out there busting their ass every day, Jimmy. And then you figure even with the National Guard or Reserve, we have our weekend a month and our 2 weeks during the year sometimes to accomplish the same tasks that the active duty guys are doing every day. So we get a finite amount of time to get our stuff done, and we have the same requirements that they have, like for training each year. So,
That doesn't make a lot of sense, but a wise person once told me if it makes sense, they don't do it in the army.
that's right. That's right. We ain't gonna do that, so man. That's airport. Let them make sense out of it.
That's what my daughter is, and she loves it.
But so, the cool thing about the military, no matter which way you go, I don't care if you go. I would probably go Air Force if I look back at it, just because I love airplanes and they take care of their people really good, even in combat zones. Um, but the education, they will pay for your college. They will pay. My son's college 4 years is paid for because my post 9/11. He's got 4 years at any school that he gets accepted to go to, and they will pay tuition. For me, both my degrees are paid for by the military. I ain't paid a dime for them. So it's what a lot of people don't get is they're like, man, I ain't going to the military. I ain't doing this. I'm like, dude, there's some serious benefits to it. And when I was young, I didn't realize it. It took me 12, 12 years in my career before I realized, hey, I get a free education out of this crap. So that's what I did.
So what's the
Grinding it out.
coolest thing you've flown in or drove in?
Military wise, or just in general?
Yeah, military. What's the coolest thing
Um,
you've been in?
man, everybody goes to the trucks or the big personnel carriers and stuff like that. But there's actually a couple of Air Force birds. We were coming, we're leaving in 2010. We're leaving Afghanistan out of Bagram Airfield, and there's only three of us in my group that was coming back. So we kept getting bumped off flights. So we've been waiting on a flight for like 3 or 4 days. And finally caught the C-130, and there was only like 10 of us on the C-130. Only like 10 of us on that bird. We had the whole bird to ourselves, except for the flight crew and all that. And total, even with the flight crew, I swear there's only 10 of us in there. So we're spread out. We're sleeping on jump seats on the side of the bird. It's about a 5-hour flight. They have no care in the world, man. As soon as we went wheels up and crossed out of Afghanistan, they let us know. And I was like, sweet, you can relax. You ain't got to worry about nothing. That one was super cool. It was the C-130, but my first time on a C-17 was on the way in Afghanistan the last time. And we picked it up, this little country in Kyrgyzstan. It's way up in the Himalayas, north of Afghanistan and Tajikistan and all this. It's about 20 below when we took off. So we're waiting. Yeah, we're waiting. We're in the seats. The ramp of the plane is down. And the air is flowing through there, man. We're like this. But that was probably the smoothest aircraft I've ever been on in my life.
Which one is it
I'll
again?
say it's a C-17. It's a big
Okay.
troop carrier. So I'll send you a picture. I actually send you all a picture of when we were inside the plane because we took one where everybody's
Awesome.
sitting there and look, there's like 100 of us in there or something.
All right. Well, help the layman like me understand, because both Hercules is what we call these things, right?
That's right. The C-130 Hercules. Yeah, that one was a big
Hercules,
one.
but
Yep.
the C-17 is not. It's like a baby Hercules, or what is it?
No, it's actually bigger than the Hercules. It's so the C-130 was a propeller. It's got 4 propellers on it.
Yeah,
And the C-17 is the new
got
jet transport.
the jets. Yeah,
And it's called the Globemaster, and it's huge, freaking huge. But when they get up at altitude, that is the smoothest ride in an airplane ever. And you think like commercial jets are flying about maybe 25, 30,000 feet on average. When they're pushing up, they're around 40, 45,000 feet. It's silky smooth.
You ever jump out of one? You ever
I knew he
skydive?
was going to ask you, Jim. I knew he was going to ask you. So a couple of years ago, and actually this past year, that was probably the coolest airplane ride we've had. Me, Braylon, Salmon, and a couple other people got to
yeah.
jump with the Golden Knights, the Army Golden Knights. And dude, like a couple of years back, myself and Addie Perez did it.
Yeah. Saw that.
So Addie, I landed before Addie, right? So I grabbed my phone, like my group went up first. This is a couple of years back when Addie went. We're up, we jumped, I land, go back, take my gear off, and I grab my phone. And I'm filming Addie on her way down, right? Because you're falling and then the chutes come out. Addie is literally like coming around and she's like, I'm flying. And you can hear her yelling, I'm flying. I was like, that's gotta be her, man. That's gotta be her.
That's
And
awesome.
this time, it was and I want to say last June, I think, when me and Braylon and one of our chiefs got to go do it. Braylon ain't been around airplanes that much. And he was so excited, man.
Yeah.
So I'm in the door of the plane, get ready to jump out with the guy, and Braylon his seat is up by the cockpit where the pilots are. So they slide the door open. I said, "See you, B." And then we go out, right? So I land, and I knew what I was gonna feel, but when Braylon got to the ground and landed, he was all smiles, like
Yeah.
big time, man.
Yeah.
The energy you can get from that is phenomenal.
Yeah,
That was probably the coolest ride, Jimmy, jumping out of that plane. That was wicked.
I bet. I bet. I did it once, and it was a couple of years ago, like 4 years ago. And I was like, oh boy, I was like, we're going to do this. And I'm afraid of heights, like terrified. So they were like, who's going first? And I was like, I am.
Get it over with.
And they tell you when you do it, you just got to put your arms out and they're going to just jump out. This dude does some flips and stuff. And I was like, I was cursing him when he did that. I was like, oh man. I was like, what happened to the just get out and you put your arms out? Nah, this dude did them flips. And I was like, Ooh, that was something else.
Do you get motion sick also? At all?
No, I don't get motion sickness. No, I don't. That it's just the heights. Like if you put me on a ladder, I'm terrified.
Yeah.
I'm terrified. If I'm in an airplane, I could look out.
Yeah.
I I don't like want to look over a balcony. I'll be like, no, I'm back
Yeah.
in.
No. That's why I am like with on the edges of buildings or cliffs. Now
Yeah.
I'm backing up,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
backing up. But
Yeah.
there was something calming about that going out that plane. That if you get a chance to do it, Mike, you got to do it, man.
All right. Send the invite and I'll come up and
You got to do it.
take
was
Braylon's spot.
it was phenomenal. And Brendan only
Cool.
weighs like 80 pounds anyway, man. So,
Right. Right. Yeah. So it was easy.
Yeah, when I went to go do it, my girl surprised me and she's like, "Hey, how much do you weigh?" And I'm like, "What? How much do I weigh?" I was like 220. And she's like,
question is
"Oh, okay." And then when we were going, she's like, she didn't tell me. She's like, "Make sure you wear jeans and a t-shirt." I was like, "You're taking me skydiving."
Yeah.
And she's like, "How'd you know?" And I was like, "Can't ask those kind of questions. How much do I weigh? And I got to wear jeans. I ain't
Wear
going to play soccer,
jeans.
that's for sure."
yeah. So they're going to SeaWorld. You never know.
Yeah.
Splash zone. So
So
Danny, there's no secret that you are a semi-professional golfer. So what's your handicap?
I'm getting there, bro. I'm getting there,
talk
bro.
to us about, because you're on the pro-am all the time. I'm watching. I'm like, he's always in a charity tournament. He's pro-amming it up. So what's your handicap?
I was scared as hell when that first started, man. I ain't even gonna lie. Oh, I was at a 14. I'm probably around a 7 or 8 right now. So I'm grinding it down. I was at a 20
Nice.
about a year ago. So yeah, that
Huge jump.
pro-am came
Huge
up
jump.
because of the show. Because of the show, that pro-am came up.
Talk to us about that. Who was that with?
So it was the BMW tournament. So the BMW plant is up in Greenville, just north of here, about an hour and a half or whatever. And one of our reserve deputies works up there, BMW at the facility, and they were trying. The guy that runs the tournament is also one of the higher ups at BMW up there in Greenville, and Mike Montgomery. So he's the chair of the tournament. He takes care of arranging everything. So they're trying to do all of the getting celebrity and pro athletes in there and stuff like that. And they were trying to look for some local guys that could be a part of it, and they were like, and Greg told him, "Hey, you need to look at Danny Brown. He's down there." And he knew I played golf a little bit, but so they invited me. And this is last February, probably in 23. So I said, "Yeah, man, I'll be honored. I've done a couple, tournaments, helping out and raising money and stuff." And like we talked about the auction, the ride-alongs, right? So,
Right.
yes, we done a bunch of that, and then I'm thinking that it's one of these Captain's Choice tournaments where, like, me, you, and Jimmy and one other dude go out and play, and we play best ball all day, right? Everybody's playing that same tournament and stuff. So I'm like, cool, it'll be fine. I've played Captain's Choice tournaments before. I didn't know anything about the tournament. I just was like, it's obviously one of these local Captain's Choice. So after I agreed to it, I get home that night. I started searching. I started Googling, man. And my wife's office here at the house is across the hallway from mine. So I said, "Oh my God." Actually, I said some other words, but she goes, "Wow, what's up?" I said, "Can't carry these scrub clubs to this tournament." she's like, "Why? What's up with?" I said, "They're going to have me partner with an amateur and 2 pros in our foursome." So the pros are playing for big money. They're all part of that Quad Ferry tour. They are playing for status on the tour and playing for championship money at these tournaments. So those guys, their scores are really counting for some big stuff. And the amateurs playing, so they have the pro division, and then they have an amateur division and a celebrity division, right? So I'm basically playing against all the other, I'm a celebrity now. So
I'll say it.
So, yeah,
Well said.
So So I was like, celebrity. So why am I in this group? So I'm in groups with like Ken Griffey Jr., David Wells, and Larry the Cable Guy. All these guys are up there playing. Larry Fitzgerald. Everybody's up here. Right? So I'm seeing the invite on this list. And then they do this press release up there in Grayville where it's a big to do. And they're advertising who's coming to this thing and put it on the news. And they're doing it alphabetical, right? So I'm not really catching it. So they put Captain Danny Brown, Richmond County. And then they get all the way down. I said, I ain't gonna bump me in front of all these pro athletes and stuff. And it was, I was blown away. And I was like, this is way, way bigger than I thought. Extremely bigger than I thought. But they raise millions of dollars for charity each year. So it's so cool, man. And so I'm starstruck while I'm there the first couple of days. And Monday through Friday, you got 3 practice days. And then Thursday and Friday, you go into the tournament where you got 2 days of playing. All those nights of the week, we're also doing appearances and going by events with all the people that are making donations to the charities and fun events for the public that they're paying to hang out with all the celebrities and stuff, you know. And BMW does this thing at their track where we're hanging and meeting and greeting other celebrities and the pros and stuff. And it was a lot. And it was the most amazing experience ever, man. Unbelievable.
Got to shake the hands and kiss the babies.
Dude, it was unreal. So, and I told Mike McGovern, the guy that's over the tournament, I said, hey, I'm here to help out. So whatever I can do to help, you know, if I got to sign autographs or, you know, eat dinner with somebody, y'all let me do it. And they had me in a couple of golf clinics for special needs kids, which was super cool. So we did a couple, like about a half day of 1 hour interval with different special needs kids groups. And underprivileged kid, this guy Will Lowry has got, I said Mike Lowry.
Bad boys.
Yeah, bad boys.
That's what I was thinking. I was like,
so
Will Smith was
Lowry, he was there. I didn't see him. Will Lowry does his golf channel where he goes around teaching a lot of kids about golf that wouldn't have connections to it. So we did clinics like that all day, and then we got to play golf all week, man. So then last year I didn't play that good. Me and Larry the Cable Guy was in the group behind me, right? So I got to hang out with him that morning, and this one tripped me out. We come in there at like 7 a.m. We had a tea time at 6:56, so we get there like way at 6 a.m. And eating breakfast. It's my group, Larry the Cable Guy group. Everybody starts coming in groups at a time, and I walked up. I said, "Hey, Larry, it's Danny Brown. Glad to meet you, man. Love everything you do. It's funny as hell." He looked at me, man. Jimmy, you're getting crazy. He goes, hell, Danny Brown, I know who you is. Everybody watches your show, man. What?
Celebrity.
Yeah.
The celebrity.
It was unreal. You go, everybody watch that PD Live thing.
Wow. That's amazing. So I would have never guessed that.
Fast forward to this year, we're at the tournament again in June. I got invited back. So I got to bring Donna and Connor up there. And we were at one of the gatherings at the BMW track.
I don't want to interrupt you.
No, you're not Mike at all.
But I gotta ask you this question. Who's the most famous person you think you have a picture with from the Pro-Am or your time at the Sheriff's Department or what?
And guys, there it is. Part 1 of an interview with what some people call the most interesting man on Patrol Live, Captain America, Captain Danny Brown. Part 2 coming next week. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And as always, we thank you for watching. See you next time.